Two things in this video. One is our travel plans, and the other is we have a lot to get done today. And it's pretty early. I think I'm on my 4th cup of coffee. I'm gonna need that extra coffee for what's going on today. Let's get on with some things here. I'm getting some things laid out in the garage of what's going on here today, and I'm sorting things out, what really needs to be done before we get out of here and what can wait till later. And I've been working on that, but the vision is becoming more defined of what we got to do here. Travel plans. Here we are, late September already, and temperatures have already dropped. September is in the fall, May is in the spring. Yeah, it's May is when the weather is just really starting to come on nice. Summer's coming in, and September is it's on its way out. We're going from 80-degree days in the low 80s to 60-degree nights. Just perfect weather. That's the way I like it. In September, here we are. It's the 3rd week of September, and there's already about a 15-degree drop on both of those. So we're right now, the extended forecast is it's barely getting 70. A lot of days it's not. We're not getting to the 70 degrees in the days, and in the low 50s, high 40s at night, and that just continues. In a couple more weeks, now we start getting down in the 30s at night. So, and I'm not interested in putting up with any of that in an RV. They're not insulated like a house is, right? You start feeling them cool nights and having to run heat all the time. So these coming weeks, it's just I need to get it together and get out of here. We've got some things going on the roof up here today. Let's just take a quick peek up there where I'm at with that, and I hope to have this 99% finished up today. I might have a loose end to do tomorrow. What's happened up here? I went around and did all the seams with Flex Seal. That's my product of choice. And so seams across the top, down the other side, around the vents. I did get some caps there and there. They're both on now. I did tear out that old fan that no longer worked. And this is the fan. It's a more modern fan. It's the bigger, quieter one. I don't know the exact brand of it, but that's what was in that air conditioner when I first bought, or that hole where the air conditioner goes. That's what was there when I first bought the Coachman. So when I took that out and put the air conditioner in, I hung on to this, and I thought I'll get to it. Well, it's big and bulky enough that I didn't want to carry it around and get to it later. So yesterday morning it took me about 2 hours to put this in, because the old one had this really rubbery, just old type of adhesive. I had to get my heat gun and work it, and it took a little while to get all that off of there, and then dig the stuff out of the screws, get the screws. It was a process, but the other one's all in there. A nice big thick bead of caulking the whole way around it. When it was upside down, I put a big heavy bead of caulking around the flange on the bottom side, and then boop on there, and then it all kind of squeezed out real nice the whole way around. So that's a really good seal. And then later, actually I'll get the sealer back out. I'm gonna let this caulking set up. It's still pretty soft, and I mean it'll stay. I think actually it's probably maybe set up enough, because it'll remain kind of soft for a while. And I'm gonna go around this here really well with that Flex Seal, that liquid rubber. I'm going to paint around that, and then I have the rain cover hood to put on here. That's in the garage. Other than that, I have the 2 solar panels came in, so I got to get those up here, and the adapters to splice into the systems, and I don't know. That's the main part of it. I don't think there's any more details right now, so let's get back down. And Bella is she's over visiting. We have company today, and so we'll see her in a bit. Back to the travel plans. I don't have any. If you've been with the channel for a while, you know me. It's like when I'm ready to go, we turn the key and we head south or southwest, and somewhere closer to the equator. About halfway to the equator, somewhere in that zone. So yeah, we'll end up in the south or southwest. The the plan is really it's just to get rolling here soon, and where we end up over the course of the winter months, hard telling. Probably some of the same usual places with some of the, I'm sure with some of our friends, but you know, destinations unknown at this point exactly. So really the travel plan is just to do it, is that wherever it might be, is to get traveling and traveling soon. What we got going on here? Here's that cover. I need to put that cover on. Once I put that flex seal, finish sealing that up, I gotta put the brackets on the side of that, then flip this hood over upside down and put on top of that. So we're gonna get to that after I get that seal done. And I want to put these up first. I gotta put some brackets on here and get these ready to go. I got some adapters over here somewhere. There she is. What do we got here? And my inverter came in also. So yeah, we got some 2-to-1 adapters to plug the panels in. But because of where they're located, yeah, there's a set for one panel and a set for the other panel. And then these extensions, because I'll need them. So we need to get this stuff all rounded up, get it up top, start getting things together today. And I forget what else we gotta, I don't know. There's I got stuff kind of organized. It's and this mess will get cleaned up as we go. Hopefully by the end of the day, this whole thing is cleaned up much better. Oh, and our visitor, a good friend of ours, Russ, stopped by, and he's hanging out today, visiting. Bella. All right, let me see if I can get going here. All right, I have done this a time or two. Yes, sirree. I usually lay these out and do, well, I get those sets, so I usually put four at a time on. How do I do this? Oh yeah. Okay, the first one. What's my routine again? A flat washer and a bolt. Another flat washer. A lock washer. And the nut. Alright, pretty easy stuff. I like I said, these kits, it's nice. It comes with all the hardware needed. And of course, two 10mm 10mm wrench on the bottom. Alright, easy. Cordless drill. A good tightening up. That's it. I'll go around and get these other ones on here. A couple people said, why don't I put them for better solar in the wintertime? Why not mount these as tilting panels? And because I don't want to. That's a whole lot more hardware. There's just a lot. Ooh, oops. And when you tilt them, it's like you can only have one row. The spacing becomes different too. You can have one row of these before you go tilting them up, and then it blocks the other panel behind it. So the second row's got to go way back, so it's not blocking the sun as bad. And there's just, and on the Coachman, I just wouldn't be able to get near as many panels on it. So I'd probably actually lose solar because I can't be blocking one panel out with another. And I don't want the hassle of getting up and down. I move around long enough. I move around often enough that I just don't want to. It would be different if I went down to somewhere like, say, the quartzsite long-term visitor area, and I was going to be in one place for quite some time, for the entire season, say. Go down, get up one time, put all your panels up, and be done. But we move often enough, going and seeing and doing places that, okay, time to go, or we stayed here for just a weekend or somewhere else a week or two, and okay, put all the panels down, okay, get back down, you know, secure them, and even when they're up, they got to be secure because it gets windy, and that's just a circus I don't want to be involved in. I want enough on the roof that just laying flat, I have enough solar. Even some people I know that have them that will tilt, usually they don't. Like, I don't feel like climbing up there and going through that. So I just don't want, that's just the exercises I'm not interested in. All right, that panel's done and ready to go up. And so, yeah, no sooner did I buy these 2 more panels, no sooner did I do that, Russ gave me this one panel. Yeah, because he just upgraded, he put a different panel. He actually had to buy a smaller panel to move it because he just had a fan installed. So he needed more room. He put a different panel up there, and he gave me this one. Well, guess where this one's gonna go? Now remember, these kits that I buy that have the 40 amp charge controllers, they actually max out. You can add a 5th panel. So that's what we're doing here. So we got 4, we're gonna add a 5th. We got 4 up there, we're gonna add a 5th. Well, guess what? There's one in the van too. There's 4, that one Russ gave me. There's room back here. It's gonna get a 5th. The van will also have 500 watts of solar. Of course, the coach one will have 500 watts of solar times 2. Okay. So thank you, Russ. That'll. He was just gonna leave that panel behind. They want to haul it, drag it around all over the place, seeing if somebody could use it, or wherever he had his work done. He was just gonna leave it behind, and we got to talking on the phone when he was gonna come over. Got to tell him what I was up to, and he said, "Hey, could you use another panel?" I had to think about it for a minute, and then the van, oh yeah, sure, I sure could. So thanks again, Russ. Okay, panel number 2 here. There. I think I need to go ahead and put these things in place first. So I need a little bit of room to work, and that way the panels aren't in my way. And I'll get these in place, and yeah, we'll go get the panels done. All right, here's a good example why I would lose solar by tilting them. If I could tilt those 2 panels, up, say, facing the sun over that way, it's going to block the sun from these. So what about moving these back? Well, look, there's just nowhere to put it. I could move one back. I'd have to downgrade to 3 panels. Yeah, so I'll go, but I'm putting a 5th one here. So I'll go from 5 down to 3. Otherwise, they're blocking each other. And same up here. Let's just say I was going to park that way. Because the sun's going to be over there in the winter time. And I could tilt 2 up. Well, it's going to block these 2. Even if they're tilted, still the shadow is going to block half of them. So what do? Move it back some? Well, we got the antenna and the air conditioner right down here. So same thing. Instead of just putting one here, it's going to go a long ways here. You get it. All right, so I got to take some of this back apart. I got them snug. They're kind of snug in there, but I got to put one of those. I was afraid, like, I know I have a tool. You kind of got to release the a couple of retaining clips there to pull one of these back apart. And I'm thinking, I know I have that tool somewhere, but I have no idea where it's at. I'm gonna struggle with it. But I got lucky and I found it. All right, these were actually tucked under there pretty snugly. And I need to, I think, maybe I won't need that tool. Let me see. Yes, I'm gonna need that tool and make it for a reason. I think. How's this work? I don't know if I've only ever done this once, I think. It's supposed to retain them, pull them clips back. And then, come on, how's that work? Come on. Oh, okay. So, that works. Hang on. So which one goes on here then? Is it, which one? Oh, I think this one. Yes. Let me make sure, let me get an extension out. I'm sure it's right. They can only go one way. Alright. It'd be nice if all these, the entire system was color coded, but they don't come that way. Come on, loose off of there for a minute. Come on. There we go. So this is the negative side. So we're gonna need the black one. And this is gonna go I think this is gonna go here. All right, now where's the one I disconnected? It's gonna go back on here. And then we're gonna plug this into here. Wow, that was that went well. Now, all right, I might have to configure this a little bit differently. Oh no, there's where the middle walk. All right, it's just this is gonna be tucked back here just a little bit further than it was. I got it figured out. All right, that worked out pretty well. Okay, so here we go. Have those the adapters in there. He's come back here for the additional solar panel. We will I'll get that solar panel up here in a bit and put it in this location. We're ready for hookup. Now I'm just gonna go up and do that to the other set, and we'll be ready for panels. All right, check this out, and there it is. It's a good thing I got they had short extensions, and I thought I'm just better safe than sorry. I got the 3-foot extensions, and there's just enough up here. It was just long enough to get up in there, around and over, so it worked out perfect. I have a couple more inches to spare over here, but not a lot. It all worked out good. I did turn off my the disconnects to my charge controllers. They're both turned off right now. I'm up here messing around and plugging new things in or additional things in. So I already have the other one plugged in. I'm just gonna plug this one in here in real quick, but they're not screwed down yet. I got a tube of self-leveling die core coming today, so they'll be in place and plugged in. And so all I have to do is put a dab of die core underneath each of the 4 brackets, run the screws in, and it's done. So that'll be quick. Plug it in and wait for the die core. Run the screws in. We're done. Okay, and I'm gonna be careful not to make the same mistake my good buddy Scott made. All right, now this TV antenna. Hope you're watching this, Scotty. I thought of you, buddy. This antenna here is actually broken. The cable's all wiped out. It's gone from probably 35 years of UV rays, and it's actually completely missing down there. And you can see up here too. You know, it's really yeah, degraded, but down there where it goes in the RV, it's completely cut off or missing. And the wind-up gear is even stripped out. So I actually lifted this up by hand. I'm gonna put it back down by hand, and hopefully let's see what happens. It goes down so far. This is what my buddy Scotty did. So it comes down and hits the solar panel. So when so it blocks a little bit of the sun, not a lot, but it does. So I have room to slide this down a little bit before I go screwing it down. And that's what we'll do. We'll pull this down a little bit, get it out from underneath that antenna, and so it'll be a little offset to the other panels, but and there's still enough room to get around up here a little bit. Not too bad. I can get up here if I need to. So I'll get this all plugged in. It is going to be nice to wrap this whole project up here. Let's plug the positive in here. All right, and where'd the negative go? Here it is. Okay, we actually had a little more left over here than I thought, but I'm just gonna tuck that underneath there for now. Oh, it went up there and there. Pretty nice. It'll stay out of the UV rays. Ooh, and we'll plug the other. There it goes. Clicks. And same thing. We'll just kind of feed the excess underneath that one. Come on, how's this gonna work out the best? Maybe you feed it under this one or under this one. I don't know what it wants to do. Yeah, we'll tuck it under that one. Ah, perfect. All right. I guess now I can just go ahead and turn those disconnects, those breakers back on. and I'll have 1,000 watts of solar. Yeah. Well, we'll go back down. Then, like I say, once the die core gets there, I'll finish that up. And I need to go down and get the sealer to seal this seam up now. And I'll get that cover put on. And we're really gonna be wrapping the roof sealed, solar's installed, the fan and covers installed. These are all, we can kind of put this whole entire project to bed, and soon we won't ever have to come back up here again for a long time, hopefully. Oh, by the way, Scott didn't do that with the TV antenna on his new fifth wheel. That was back when he did that on when they had the truck camper. So, no, I think he learned his lesson in the camper, the newer, the fifth wheels. That stuff like that didn't occur. He learned. All right, we're back down here. That other panel that's going on the van, that project is going to wait till springtime when I get back. I'm going to take it up and store it upstairs in the garage with some of my other storage items. And so that mess is cleaned up. And I have some what I call my basic necessity toolkits. Those are tools besides a socket set and stuff that's going to go along with me. That goes under the other bench right behind the driver's seat. So those are necessary tools. When all these projects are done, we're going to give it a quick shop vac. And that's going to go upstairs in storage. That kind of cleans the mess up here around my buddy's truck. That's the old fan that came out. We're going to get rid of that. No further use for that. The DJI Phantom 4 drone. It is out of commission. We're not taking that big bulky drone along. It gets errors. I might send that back to DJI for repair. But in the meantime, that's going to go in the pile of things not going along. As is that tote. These levelers, they're going along. The tote has some things that are not going along. That's going to go upstairs as well. So we're getting things sorted through. And you get that cover on later today. Getting the mess cleaned up. This week coming, I am getting under the hood. And if it needs belts, if the belts are questionable at all, it's getting belts. I'm not going to carry spares. I'm going to get away from that. Why carry spare belts and hoses? So many people do. I'm going to inspect it. If the belts or hoses are at all questionable, it's getting all new. And we don't carry spare belts and hoses around in our other vehicles. Why carry it in an RV? If they're old, replace them, and don't worry about it. And have a look at them, every year or something, and see how they're doing. So I'm going to address the engine compartment here this week coming, and probably give it a quick tune-up. New distributor ignition distributor rotor cap, spark plug wires and spark plugs, and like I say, the belts and hoses. We're going to get that all taken care of. I had a fresh oil change. We're going to get things wrapped up here. We need to be getting out of there pretty soon. The cold weather is not far off. Hey, let's address something else here real quick. I got a couple comments about my selection and refrigerator, saying, way to go, you got an automatically defrosting refrigerator which has a heat cycle to defrost, and it's going to use a ton of power. Well, I think I'm onto something how to disable that. I've already got some information regarding this control box, and there's a timer in there, and twice a day, from what I gather so far, twice a day that tells that heating element to come on. But when the timer activates, it shuts the compressor off, and it turns that heating element on for 25 minutes twice a day. The next part of that puzzle is, okay, how many watts does that heating element take? So I could calculate how many watts in a 24-hour period. 20. Let's just round that up, give it the benefit of the doubt, or to work in my favor. 25 minutes. Let's just make that 30. 2 times a day, an hour a day. If it were to say use 500 watts or 700, whatever it might be, then I could say, okay, it uses so many watt hours in a day, and I know how much of my battery that uses. And is it going to be worth, is it going to be that big? Is it substantial enough that it's going to be that big of a deal? And it might be worth so it's good information to have. I know it's like wire number 2 on that box in there that tells activates the defrosting heating element. So I could probably put an inline switch, just like an on-off toggle switch, and if I want to just disable that for a week or a couple of weeks, or some better opportune time, say I'm plugged in somewhere, I'll say, hey, I'm going to just flow that switch and let my freezer defrost. Or if I'm out boondocking and on short days and I don't have a whole lot of power to spare, I can turn that defroster off. So I'm going to calculate, I'm going to find out if it's that big of a deal to begin with, just how big of a deal it is, and figure out a way to disable it if I choose to. So we're going to put that little problem to bed, have that solved. All right, it's getting later in the afternoon. Well, we're going to go ahead and get this fan sealed up. I just want this to go ahead and get set up. That tube of Dicor did come, and I don't know if I'm going to do that actually yet this evening, or I just might do that in the morning. I just don't know yet. It's a little bit later than I thought here. And oops, my Flex Seal got a layer of dried stuff on the top. I hate when that happens. That's weird, because I used it around the edges, and this has been closed up for 2 weeks, and I opened it up and there was no dried film on it. But I think I got it all brushed to the side. This Flex Seal liquid, I really like this stuff. I've read a lot of reviews on a lot of different products and stuff, and what I have found is a lot of these there's a lot of good products out there, and when you do see a bad review that, oh, it's peeling or it's doing this or that or whatever, you know what, the biggest thing is probably proper surface preparation. I actually started this job a few days ago, and I cleaned the roof. I mixed up a 2.5 gallon, a 5 gallon bucket about halfway full with water, probably about a whole cup of Tide laundry detergent, and probably about that much more again of concentrated car wash. And I got that brushed around. I went around it the first time just to kind of slop it on and let that detergent start, doing its job. And then I worked my way around, and I went back over the second time. I went up to where I started at, and kind of scrubbed it in and scrubbed it off. Actually put some elbow grease into it, scrubbed the whole thing real well. And then I got up after that, and I left that even sit for probably 10 or 15 minutes while I got the pressure washer out. And then I pretty much power rinsed it, and because I wanted to of course get all the soap off and out from underneath the panels, and anything out of any little nooks and crannies and crevices, give it a thorough get all the soap out of it. So back to this Flex Seal, after reading some reviews, I've seen some other products that were I've heard people speak highly of them before, but then I went and read the instructions on how to apply it, and some of them were up to apply 4 to 5 coats. And then I read into the reviews a little bit, and some people did comment that the stuff seemed like it was pretty thin, but by the time you get enough coats on it, I guess it was a good product in the end. So I'm not knocking that. It's just I like this stuff because it goes on. It's pretty thick stuff, and I just really like how it goes on. And yeah, there ain't no 4 or 5 coats needed. So I used this on the Tioga, I've used it on the Bounder, and now the Coachman's gonna get some. Actually, I'm gonna slop that on a little heavier. Yeah, you can just tell, how thick, just how nice and thick it is. And there is no point in trying to save the brush for using it again later. I've taken the brush and put it in like a sandwich bag, and squeezed all the air out of it, so it was just really just the brush and the liquid. And I was thinking, well, without air in there, it wouldn't dry out. But I can tell you what, it still dries out like really quickly. I think we're gonna let that go till tomorrow morning. The weather looks good for tomorrow yet, and my OCD's not gonna let me put that one panel offset. So, no, it's not that. It's just that antenna up there. It's busted up, don't work anyway. I think I just gotta really cut one old rusty bolt. I'm just gonna take. I mean, I'll leave the main hub of it on there, but that whole mast that lifts up, I think I can just cut one little bolt and just take that whole thing off there. It doesn't need to be up there. It's in the way, and I will slide that one solar panel up a little bit. But I have no intentions of ever replacing that antenna with that same type. It may get something more modern and one of them smaller dome ones that are smaller and better. I will never need that space that big antenna takes. So I'm gonna wait. It's getting late enough in the day too. It's gonna be time for some dinner and stuff. And I've got a lot done. Probably a couple things in the off camera. Putting some more things away. Yeah, I did get the die cord did get here, so in the morning I'll jump up there and then get that antenna off. And once that dew burns off in the morning, I'll go ahead and use the die cord and run the screws in and permanently mount them panels. So we'll get this all wrapped up here pretty soon. I think this is the last of the big projects. I probably have a couple more items for the refrigerator. I gotta get cables coming, but I might run the cables later. I think I have a lithium battery coming, and I gotta mount that inverter. At least if it's mounted, I'll do the hooking up part of it later, but it's not in a box taking up room in the I'm not kind of storing it and hauling it around. If I actually mount it in its location, it's kind of out of the way, and one less box is just kind of in the way. So I'm gonna get that stuff at least mounted for now. We do have enough power. The days are still long enough that 1,000 watts of solar, I'm gonna be okay for a while. It's gonna be, I'll notice the difference here in about 2 months when days are getting really shorter. They're shorter by the day, by a minute, right? So, probably in a month and a half, 2 months, we'll probably lose another hour on each end of the day. And yeah, it gets late November, December, and certainly January, February, March. That's when I really have I'll have things well put together by then. Well before then. But I'm not going to stick around here to do every last little detail. We are going to be leaving soon. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up because I got to spend some time under that hood, a day or two under the hood, do a couple things this week coming, and we're going to be ready here soon. We are. All right, thanks for hanging out today. I'll see you next time.